Hey Canucks fans, Pettersson is the team's only untouchable player. A quick recap of last night's game, and I answer all of your questions. Let's get to it right now. I'm Canuck Clay, and this is my Canucks take on One Take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Sunday, December the 18th. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Going to talk about last night first, and then I'll answer your questions in our weekly Ask Me Anything. I don't want to say too much about the game. My mom taught me if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Actually, I didn't watch the game. I was at a work function, a Christmas party, and we were following the updates. And then I saw that the Canucks got blitzed 5-1. And I came home, watched the highlights. And I'm not even going to get into individual player performances or anything like that because I didn't watch the whole game. I can only go by highlights. Obviously, the team defense wasn't good enough. That's all six guys on the ice. Got to be better on the power play, all those things. Horvat got another goal, so one bright spot, a lone bright spot last night. Obviously missing Pettersson and Besser. And here's the main thing for me. It's just disappointing that the Canucks, again, just like last Saturday when they lost 3-0 to the Minnesota Wild, they almost got shut out again on another Saturday night. So there's something about playing Saturday night, Hockey Night in Canada, at home in December in a game when you can go over 500. So a second blown opportunity on a Saturday night to go over 500. And it's inexcusable for the Canucks to start off so slowly. So that's all I'm going to say about last night's game. Off the ice, more developments, and everything always seems to happen on a Hockey Night in Canada day. Remember a few weeks ago, it was the fact that the Canucks were looking to move Brock Besser on that whole Hockey Fights Cancer drama night, Hockey Fights Cancer night drama. Last night, and it always happens, Elliotte Friedman always breaks something or talks about something before the Canucks are even playing. So it's people watching the early game, the 4 o'clock game, and then they saw Elliotte Friedman talk about the Canucks and what he understands their plan is. So their plan, which was later confirmed by Allvin, is not to rebuild, not to blow things up. Not to rebuild or blow things up, but to retool. Even though Allvin wouldn't use the word rebuild or retool, and I'll get to that in a second. Elliotte Friedman said he thought 3 things. That A, Canucks management does know that there has to be some changes. And the biggest thing he said was that they consider only one player to be untouchable, and that is center Elliotte Pettersson. So then the next thought was, what about Hughes and Demko? And I think some people were blowing this out of proportion. Yes, he said there's one untouchable, but that didn't mean right away that means Quinn Hughes is on the trade block or that they're even seeking out a deal. He then quickly said, because he knew the firestorm this would set off, he quickly said it would take a mammoth, mammoth, massive, ginormous deal, package coming the other way to actually consider trading Quinn Hughes. So Elliotte Friedman tried to douse the fire. He wasn't saying that the Canucks are actively seeking trade partners for Hughes or Demko. All he was saying was, if you had to rank everyone priority-wise, the only untouchable is Petey. And that makes sense to me. That does make sense to me. I've always thought it was Petey, Hughes, and Demko. I'd say Hughes is close to untouchable. Demko is relatively untouchable, but you still entertain offers for them if the right offer comes along. So as much as I'm saying, let's not make a big deal out of it. I just spent 2 minutes talking about it. But truly, I think it makes sense that Petey's the only untouchable. His agent was on Donnie and Dolly saying that Petey does want to sign here, and I'll get to Petey's contract in one of the questions. But yeah, Petey as the only untouchable, take a mammoth deal to even entertain a move of Quinn Hughes. So nothing to see here, but I did want to acknowledge it because a lot of people were asking me about it, and we're talking about it on Twitter yesterday. If you can improve your team, you have to at least explore all options, but you got to think about not only, of course, who you're shipping out, but who you're getting back. And if you're untouchable, that means the Canucks think that they can't get anyone better, realistically, anyone better back for Pettersson. And so you can't just say Bedard or McDavid or Matthews or Draisaitl or Makar. That doesn't make sense because the teams on the other side will never be offering those players. So it makes sense that they say Petey's untouchable, and then it would take a mammoth deal to even consider trading Quinn Hughes. Also last night after the game, Patrick Allvin was on After Hours, didn't say too much. It was very coy about everything, including re-signing Horvat, wouldn't use the term rebuild or retool. And then Spencer Martin, a nice interview. I really like Spencer Martin. I've talked about him many times on this channel, how I met him at the golf tourney, how we had a nice chuckle, how I think he's a really nice guy. And he brought out his faith, his Christian faith in 2 of his answers last night. And it made me like him even more. And it's funny, if you saw it, Scott Oat made a joke about how Spencer Martin might be the most common name on the internet because they couldn't find a lot of good research about him. But as he was scrolling through YouTube, where the producer was, you actually saw one of my videos on there from a year ago. So my thumbnail wasn't as good, but it was just still kind of cool to see Canuck Clay and one of my thumbnails on Hockey Night in Canada. Okay, let's get to your questions now. Eli says this: the NHL backed a team trans tournament where a biological man can cuss a biological woman with a light bump. Knowing that the likes of Ryan Reeves, Tom Wilson roam the league, if the NHL wanted to increase female participation, what would be your opinion of it? You can skip this question if it'll risk you getting canceled or deplatformed. I appreciate you giving me that option to skip it. But, personal feelings and viewpoints aside, I worry about this in all sports, quite frankly, where there's a physicality to it. And they're going to have, I don't know this particular incident, Eli, but if this would be kind of the risk that you run. And just think in a bigger extreme, a sport like football where there's collisions on every single play. And I know we're talking about hockey here, but I think I'll just say this, that's the challenge when it comes to issues such as this. And then you also say, given how well Joshua, Aman, and Lazar have done, getting top 6 promotions recently, how close do you think they are to another recent successful fourth line, Mott, Lamico, and Highmore? I think they're there already. I really do. And then you can throw Stednica in there as well as a rotating. So it's like 4 of them, because I think that Aman can be a more effective center than Lamico, quite frankly. And then I think Lazar can do the same things that Mott did. We haven't seen it completely yet. We haven't seen it completely. That's my son Jacob yelling in the background because we're getting ready for a trip right here, but that's fine. So Lazar is kind of just as good as Mott. I think it will be just as good as Mott. And then I think Joshua brings an added element of physicality that Mott, Lamico, or Highmore didn't. So I do think a fourth line, let's say, of Lazar, Joshua, and Aman is just as effective as last year's line, because of just as fast, just as skilled, and a lot bigger. Great questions, Eli. Michael says, if the Canucks do end up trading Horvat and Besser like the media says, who will you get back in return? I can't talk about specific players because I simply don't know that. I think for Besser, you're looking for a 2nd or 3rd round draft pick, and you might have to attach something because of Besser's bad contract. And then for Horvat, I've always said 2 or 3 assets. And the Canucks, it's come out that they want a young center and a young right shot defenseman. So 2 or 3 assets would make sense for Bo Horvat. Hello, Congo. Playoffs or not, I feel like it'll be another 9th or 10th place finish. Yeah, as much as I want them to make the playoffs, as I've said in the past couple of weeks, I don't think it's going to happen. They're just simply not consistent enough, and they don't take advantage of games like last night where they can at least show up and make it competitive. But they haven't even climbed over 500 yet, and you got to be about 12 games over 500 by the end of the season to make the playoffs. Derek says, do you think Ovechkin can break Wayne Gretzky's goal record? Yes, I do. It'll take him 3 or 4 more seasons, but I think he will do it. What will Pettersson's net contract look like? I hear he wants to sign long-term with the Canucks, and the Canucks are already talking contract extension. Yeah, his agent was on Donnie and Dolly, said Matthew Barzal, another client of this agent, is a good comparable, and that's $9.15 million. I think a PD extension is somewhere in the high 9s to 10 million. I don't think he breaks 10 million, but I think he's going to be somewhere in the high 9s. That's my guess. If you go longer, then you probably, shorter, it's bigger. Longer, you could probably bring it down a little bit. So maybe 9.5 to 10 million. That's my guess. And then Joe Pratt says, can Jim Rutherford and Patrick Allvin realistically move out contracts without taking contracts back? It'll be tough. They're trying to make hockey trades. So any team that's taking on a 5.5 Horvat as a rental will want to get rid of some money for sure, even though it's not a lot of money. But I think we have to be prepared to take contracts back. But it's what kind of contracts we're taking back, and will they expire at the end of the season, and so on and so forth. So I do think the Canucks will have to take some contracts back for sure. And then, as I mentioned, I don't think the Canucks are interested. I mentioned this in another video. I don't think the Canucks are interested in picking up picks and prospects, which technically isn't contracts. I think they want NHL players, so to speak. And then lastly, Joey said, it said I won a prize, probably fake. If it was real, I can't text without a cell phone. And then, yeah, that was just a spam comment that was left on one of my live streams. And lastly, what will your masters do for you? It's a master in pastoral theology. So really, it's already helping me do better in my job with the Catholic Church. And ultimately, it will make me more marketable if I ever decide to leave this archdiocese or apply for higher up jobs, if that makes sense. All right, Canucks fans, thank you for your questions. I hope I answered them to your satisfaction. And know that I'm not live streaming tonight because I'll be on a flight to California. I'm gone for the next 6 days. So I'm going to do my best to do 2 or 3 periodic videos when I'm in California, maybe game recaps or a quick hello, but I will not be streaming for this next week. My next stream will be likely Monday night, Boxing Day. I'm not going to stream Sunday night, Christmas night. So my next stream will be a week from now, a week and a day from now, Monday night on Boxing Day. But I'll stay connected with all of you on this channel with a few videos, and definitely on Twitter, Canuck Clay on there as well. So I appreciate your support as always. And I wish you and your families a very, very safe Christmas, a very blessed Christmas. And may you take care, stay healthy, of course, and take care of each other throughout this season. Shout out to my sponsors, Van City Experts Real Estate, Perform and Transform Personal Training and Weight Loss. Shout out to Evan, who bought my tickets last night. I'm so sorry that you did not see a better game, but I wanted to give you a shout out and say, because Evan did say he watches my videos. So yeah, hopefully, like I said, that you'll buy from me again, and that you'll see a much better game. And then thank you, legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Justin Credible, legendary Andrew Chang, Hall of Fame and franchise members, and thanks to all you for supporting me on this channel. As always, subscribe if you'd like to, like this video if you'd like to, leave a donation, become a member, upgrade your membership if you'd like to, and leave a comment down below if you'd like to. Just simply, for today, I think the comment should be, do you agree that Elliotte Pettersson should be our only, quote, untouchable? And you heard my reasoning not to get too caught up in the fact that he didn't mention Hughes or Demko, going to take massive offers for those guys. But are you okay with the thought out there that Elliotte Pettersson is the only untouchable on this current Vancouver Canucks team? Okay, friends, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. Have a blessed week and a wonderful and safe Christmas. God bless, and go Canucks go.